On the 25th of September 2013, France and Vietnam signed a declaration on strategic partnership aimed at strengthening relations in all the fields of politics, defense, economy, education, and culture. The highlight of Vietnam-France bilateral relations cannot fail to mention the cultural and friendship ties, while Vietnam is a member in the Francophonie. According to the French embassy in Vietnam, currently 0.7% of Vietnamese population are French speakers, of which 150,000 are French scholars.
Số lượng người học tiếng Pháp thì ít hơn so với lại khoảng 10 năm trước đây. Nhưng mà thực ra nếu với tư cách là giáo viên giảng dạy tiếng Pháp thì tôi vẫn rất là lạc quan. Tôi nghĩ rằng là các em học ít đi nhưng mà những cái người học tiếng Pháp thực sự là những người ta say mê. Các em học sinh mà say mê học cái thứ tiếng đó và các em học rất là tốt. Và thông thường thì khi đã nói tiếng Pháp bao giờ sinh viên cũng nói thêm cả tiếng Anh. Mỗi một cái ngoại ngữ sẽ mở cho các em cánh cửa tới các nền văn minh khác nhau, tới các tri thức khác nhau.
Khi bắt đầu tiếng Pháp thì em cảm thấy là tiếng Pháp là rất là hay và không những là em có được một ngôn ngữ mới ngoài tiếng Anh ra thì em còn có thể hiểu biết được rất nhiều về văn hóa của nước Pháp và em thấy đây là một đất nước rất là lãng mạn.
In contrast to 20 years ago, when English is the major choice of foreign language, French is regaining its position in cultural and spiritual life of the Vietnamese people. Currently, there are many students who wish to continue learning French with the aim to continue their education in France and solely came from love for French culture. In 2015, Vietnam has 6,500 students studying in France and nearly 1,300 students coming to France each year to continue college programs, making the second largest number of foreign students among Asian regions studying in France.
First of all, I think the President comes with, in his program and in his delegation, many representatives for cultural and education sectors. So we have worked before his arrival with also our Vietnamese counterparts to develop more programs. We are going to sign a declaration on support to French language teaching in the Vietnamese schooling system, for example. We are launching also a new project in Ho Chi Minh City. So the visit of the President has allowed us to move on very much faster on many projects with the support of Vietnamese authorities, and education and culture are definitely a big part of his program and of our ambitions.
Speaking at the Vietnam National University, French President François Hollande, during a visit to Vietnam, emphasized France's wishes to promote linkage between the two countries' universities and institutions, and is willing to create favorable conditions for more Vietnamese students to study in French schools. This visit is a springboard for strengthening the teaching and learning of French in Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Net Viet. The beginning of September marks the remarkable visit of the French President to Vietnam. Education is among the main pillar of cooperations between Vietnam and France. We're here today with the headmaster of Alexander Yaxan School in Hanoi, and she will share with us about some of the way French school is operating in Vietnam and the enhancement of Francophonic community in Vietnam. Thank you, Madam Wakda Gubi Kunu, for joining our program today. How do you view on the reputations of French education in Vietnam?
La réputation est excellente. Beaucoup de parents demandent à...
The reputation is excellent. A lot of parents want their kids to be sent to the French school in Hanoi as well as in Ho Chi Minh City. This shows that parents ask for the French-style education. French school Alexander Yaxan is under the direct management of the Agency for French Education Overseas, or AEFE, and the worldwide results to the exams for students belong to AEFE network are brilliant. 96% graduated, 72% of students graduated with honors, 22% with a very good appreciation. In conjunction with its partners, the AEFE managed the network of about 494 schools accredited by the Ministry of National Education, Higher Education and Research. France is the only country in the world to have an education system of this large scale abroad. The attractive nature of the schools remains high, with a growth in numbers of between 2% to 3% each year. Despite a highly competitive international context and restricted budgetary framework. At the French school Alexander Yersin of Hanoi, 100% of students graduated and many with honors. That proves the values of excellence, requirement and ambition. The two French schools that are based in Vietnam and in the AEFE network are really well renowned, very popular, and offers excellent quality of education.
As the headmaster of a French school operating in Vietnam, what are your assessments about the development of the francophonic community in Hanoi in particular and in Vietnam in general?
This community is well established in Vietnam. We have counted about 7,400 people that have been registered at the French consulate. This community has its own activities. We can count different Francophone associations in Hanoi, its friends, and lives in harmony with Vietnamese people. There is indeed a growth in the two French schools in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, which is in line with the evolution of the French communities in these two big cities.
How does the visit of the high-level delegations from the French government help to enhance the relationship within the francophonic community in Vietnam?
It is always very impressive and important when the President of the French Republic visits a country, in this case, Vietnam. He honors the country and we were really proud he came to Hanoi. He always comes with the governmental members, and therefore he shows the importance of the historic, cultural and economic relations between France and Vietnam. Of course, his presence was really well embraced and appreciated.
During the visit of the French President and the French government delegation to Vietnam, the groundbreaking ceremony of French school Alexander Yersin was held with the participation of the State Secretary in charge of Development, Cooperation and Francophonie, Mr. André Vallini.
So today we have this ceremony with our State Secretary for Development and Francophonie, and also many representatives from the Vietnamese authorities. Although it is called the French school, there are more than 50% of the students that are Vietnamese. So for us it is very important to contribute to bring education of quality in Vietnam and in Hanoi in particular. And the new building will be modern, bigger, so will allow more students to come, and will be very suitable to develop the French school.
Well, we are, of course, first we are sending teachers and all the staff of the Lycée Yersin. They are sent by the agency and paid by the French government. And also we have given money first for the building of this new school here in Hanoi. So it's very important for us.
Established since 1982 in Hanoi, the French school Alexander Yersin is an educational institution under the authority of the Agency for French Education Abroad. Currently, the school is having 900 students from 20 different countries, from kindergarten to grade 12. Vietnamese students studying in francophonic educational institutions and environment all share the same passion for French culture and recognize the strengths of French education.
In French primary education system, grades are not the measures for students' academic performance, but rather capacity assessment. So students have less pressure in learning, and they are more relaxed and can enjoy their childhood. This school brings together not only the French students, but also French-speaking people, so one can develop their French proficiency. The multilingual environment and curriculum help us in getting a higher chance at different universities around the world. The team and teachers here really look out for our best interest, not just about our grades, but also care about our feelings and academic future choices. The fact that we are studying in a French school have many influences on our everyday life. We learn about French history, lifestyle, and civics. Our culture hence influenced a lot by the French, such as the way of thinking, living, speaking, and our choice of university. We tend to choose French university, whereas if we were to study in Vietnamese school, we tend to stay in Vietnamese universities.
Lượng đào tạo của trường em đang học là trường Y Hà Nội thì có ảnh hưởng khá nhiều từ phong cách Pháp từ thời trước. Việc biết tiếng Pháp giúp cho chúng em có thể tiếp cận dễ dàng hơn đối với các tài liệu của Pháp cũng như là cơ hội được sang Pháp để nghiên cứu và học tập.
Following the success of Vietnamese alumni in France, typically Professor Ngô Bảo Châu, Vietnam's younger generations benefited from the elite of French education, and education-oriented cooperation between Vietnam and France will be the key factor in the development of Vietnam's international integration period.
In the previous reportage, we just viewed the groundbreaking ceremony of the new Alexander Yeltsin School in Hanoi. How does the presence of the high-level representative from the French government have the impact on the Francophonic community in Vietnam and the Vietnamese students in the Alexander Yeltsin School?
The groundbreaking of the future French school in Hanoi was an important and symbolic moment. It is the sign of an engagement between the AEFE and the local authorities. Without them, we couldn't have made it. I really want to show my appreciation to their support and accompany to the fulfillment of this project. I also would like to thank the ambassador and the embassy that worked on the groundbreaking of this first stone. It was a very important moment for us to share.
What are the features that this new campus will bring to the learning experience of Vietnamese students?
The advantage of the French schools abroad, in Vietnam or in other countries around the world, is to give a multilingual education. All the students from 3 to 18 years old have the opportunity to learn different languages, French, as well as the language of the host country. Here, Vietnamese, English, and sometimes other languages. Our students are multilingual, and thanks to that, they are open to the world and have the luck to participate in different projects that are made with different countries, such as cultural events, sport events, numerical projects. Our students, therefore, have a worldwide view of things and can adapt themselves to the economic, political, and cultural context.
How would French education help Vietnamese students enhance their capacity in the process of globalization?
The French education shows its advantage, especially in education and pedagogy developed in the French schools abroad. They have the capacity to teach different languages, but the final goal is to give the students the capacity to adapt themselves to every language, no matter where they are. We proved that being an expert of a language develops the appetite to learn every language, and therefore to every context. This is a really strong point of the AEFE network.
Thank you so much, Madam, for all your sharing today.
Merci.
France, with its advancement in education day by day, bringing its education quality to support the development of Vietnamese students. And we hope that in the future, the impact of French schools and the Francophonic community will support the development of Vietnam in general. Any questions and recommendations, please email to shankvietnam@netvittv.net. Thank you and see you again.